Hey everyone, this is Matt Hendricks with Follow the Leader Dog Training, and in this video we're just showing we were out walking the other day, and when I walked by this mailbox with these balloons tied to it, Ian really freaked out and he didn't want to go by, and you can see he's doing everything he can to avoid them. So anyway, we decided to film it, and so you'll not only see that he is all scared of it, but you'll see what I do to deal with it, and then at the end you'll be able to see him going by without a problem.
Set, pause.
Go forward. Good girl. Yeah. Ever seen a balloon before? Yeah. At least you didn't like spring up that high. Yeah. Okay, so I've handed Lily, the other dog you saw, to the camera person, so now I'm just going to work with Ian for a while because I could have done it with both of them, but it was just going to be easier to work with just him because Lily didn't have a problem with the balloons, and so I just got her out of the way so I could totally focus on him and he wasn't running to her leash and things like that if he freaked out. So basically right now I'm just going back and forth by the balloons, and I'm just making him walk between me and the balloons. And what I'm doing is I'm just using the leash to lightly guide him. And essentially, if he tries to pull away, I put light pressure on the leash to keep him there. And then when he decides to stop pulling away and go by on his own and keep up with me, then I relax the leash so that there is no tension or no pressure on the leash. So, and also here I'm just stopping a little bit because if he's having a problem going by, I decide that I'd just like him to be able to sit there, which would also be a good thing for him to be able to do. So you can see I blocked him with my leg there just to prevent him from backing up. And since he did decide to back up there, I just brought him back forward to let him know that it wasn't okay to back up. And you can see again how I'm still using the leash to put pressure on when he's trying to get away, and then take the pressure off when he stays there on his own. And the reason for that is because when the pressure's on, it motivates him, and when I release the pressure, it teaches him what I want. So both the pressure and the release are important, because if there's no pressure, then he would never be motivated to do the right thing. But if I never released, then he would never learn what I actually want. Because if it was just constant pressure, he'd just feel like the balloons are something to get away from and there's something bad, and the pressure would just create an opposition reflex in him and he would just constantly pull away from it. But because I timed the releases well with his behavior, when he shows any little sign of not wanting to get away and I release and reward that, then he learns that that is what I want and that it's actually going to be fine if he just relaxes and stays where I want him to and doesn't try to get away. So you can see at this point he is going by pretty good. If you look closely, you can see that he's still kind of glancing at the balloons a little bit, and he still isn't totally comfortable around them, but he has realized that there's no need to fight, and that for the most part they're really not going to hurt them, and that if he just follows me, that life will be pretty good. So he's still not quite where I want him, but he's really pretty close. Now you can see his tail is actually in a pretty nice position. Ideally you want a dog's tail to be kind of straight out or down like this. You don't want it tucked between the legs, which his is not, so that's good. If his tail was tucked between the legs, then obviously that would be bad, but just having it down like that is actually not a bad thing. That's fine. I wouldn't mind if it was slightly higher than that, but that's not too bad where it is. And also his head is in a nice position. He's not holding it super high or super low. He's just kind of holding it even with the rest of his body like he does when he normally walks. So again, sometimes I just have him sit down and make him look at me just to make sure he's really focusing on me. So here we are, we've switched to, I've gone back and got Lily, which is why we cut that part off where I went and grabbed her. And now we're just walking by with both of them again, because that's when he had trouble initially, so I wanted to make sure that he'd go by the balloons still with both dogs. So you can see that occasionally he still glances a little, but for the most part he is totally ignoring them now, which is great. Here I was just again making him focus on me while he was sitting there. And so we just moved across the road so you could get another view of him going by. But again, just walking back and forth with he and Lily just to make sure that they're all good with it now. So anyway, you'll be able to see on this last pass after I turn around here that he doesn't look at all, which is really what we want. We just want him to walk by and ignore it like he does. And he continued to do this after this, but I figured we didn't need to keep showing it over and over. But anyway, so this is what it takes to get a dog over a fear issue like this. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Hendricks with Follow the Leader Dog Training.